The Democratic Party has had a problem with anti-Semitism for quite some time, and yet the media has turned a blind eye. Aside from conservative media, nobody is talking about how these mainstream celebrities with millions of followers are giving a platform to a known anti-Semite. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy is facing calls for him to be fired after he wore an OAN shirt on a family vacation. So, why won't the media and the left call out Handler and other Democrats for supporting Farrakhan? On her Instagram page, Handler wrote, "I learned this a lot from watching this powerful video." What's next? An excerpt from Mein Kampf? With me now, Black Voices for Trump 2020 Advisory Board member Stacey Washington. Stacey, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's outrageous to think someone could subscribe to this type of rhetoric. With that said, Chelsea Handler's a comedian. Did she post this video to be funny?
It's never funny when you take the words of a man who calls Jewish people the enemy. He has made anti-Semitic comments over the decades. We're not talking about one or two one-off comments or one or two comments that could be construed as mistakes. We're discussing the actual vilification of an entire group of people and the elevation of Hitler. Now, I've seen other conservative politicians held up as people who laud Hitler when they didn't. But a person who actually accommodates Hitler and says that he did good things, this is a person that they hold up as someone that they can learn from. Now, I happen to be permanently tanned, a Black American, and I can say that being an American, that is my culture. American language, English, that is my language. The Queen's English is something that I speak with pride. Properly with good grammar and diction. And I think that the words that he pours into the minds of Black people who listen to him, they actually keep the victimization going. They actually make people think that slavery is more relevant than their everyday experiences right now. If you're Black in America today, you are actually more closely related to white people than you are to people on the continent of Africa, no matter what nation they are, because it's been generations since any of us were actually closely related to those people. We are a unique people group. So I'm not the kind of person who feels like he can't express himself, but he pours idiocy out of his mouth, and we need to call him out on that.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how completely tone deaf celebrities in Hollywood are and what's going on and outside their bubble. It's also pretty telling about what's going on in the Democrat Party alone. And I want to choose my words wisely here. It's not so much the Democrats, but I think more leftist, alt-left liberals that are taking strongholds of this situation. If you just take a look at the squad in Congress, you have